Now my mom, she won't ever let me use my KR knife. She's like, honey, I don't know what you're gonna do with a knife that big, but I don't want you to hurt yourself. I'm like, Mom, I deal with sharp knives on a daily basis. Like, you're crazy. But that summer was great. So this summer, it's all about breaking records. You know, what can I add to my resume to stand out from everybody when I graduate college? So this summer, I'm working on winning this All-American Scholarship and getting my face in here. Super excited. The top 50, they get scholarship money. Right now, I'm like number 15 in the nation, but I'm working on being in the top 5 because the top 5 get awarded the most. The reason I want to do this is because I want to get back to my dad. My dad supported me so much throughout my life, and I just want to show him, like, hey, I love you, I care about you, I know I don't need to do this, but this is something that I want to do to make you proud. So whenever I hit my goal, I've got a couple things I'm going to do. First, I'm going to graduate from my business school. There's me with a hire me sign because I don't know what I'm doing after college. I'm in marketing. It's a very broad degree, so it's just really like, what am I going to love to do? And I have a lot of options with what I want to do after college. I've had job offers, but it's just me really figuring out who I am. So I'm one of 3 siblings. I don't know if you have, are part of any siblings, have any siblings, but it's always about who can make dad proud. Who can make dad proud? So for me, it's about standing on my own 2 feet and showing my dad that I'm capable of taking care of myself. So for me, I'm signing up, like filling out paperwork to open up a Roth IRA. I have my own savings account that I've been putting money into, but what I'm working on is affording my own apartment. I didn't realize how expensive it was to be a human being in Houston, but it's like $1,000 a month just to pay for an apartment on your own. So 1, I either need to find a friend, or 2, I gotta save a lot more money. So my dad does not want me to move in at all after college. He's like, Taylor, yeah, he's like, go find your own, like you're off on your own. My mom's like, honey, come back. But either way, I'm working on affording this. What I'm super excited about is absolutely travel though. I don't know if y'all have traveled before, if you enjoy traveling, but my parents absolutely love it. My dad will like make videos with music and send them to me. Like, he just spends so much time on it. But I'm like, okay, it's time for me to start traveling. So when I hit my goal, I'm gonna go to Thailand. A pretty random trip, but I'm like, I love Thai food. I want to ride an elephant, so that's where I'm going. And then lastly, the 2 quotes that get me through every single day of the summer. You have to wake up with determination to go to bed with satisfaction. In this business, it's an emotional roller coaster, especially being young. So it's just waking up every day with a positive mindset and giving my heart to everything that I do and seeing where it gets me. And then lastly is I can do everything through Christ who strengthens me. I love how much power is in that verse. As long as I put my heart and my actions into God and trust him, he's going to take care of everything for me. I love that I can climb mountains because I know God will move them. Every challenge that's put in front of me is meant to show me how strong of a leader that I am. So every challenge through this summer, whether it's getting up at 5:30 a.m., which I have not done since high school, or going to bed, at 12 o'clock at night just to hit my goal, it's so worth it because I grow so much from it. So I'm really excited to see the leader that I'm going to become. But just kind of diving into the presentation itself, Cutco's been around since 1949. Really amazing stuff. I actually got flown out to the factory whenever I ran into business with Cutco. So here's me, the president, CEO of Cutco, super cool people. But this is actually where I just fell in love with the company. We only have 1 factory. It's in Ole, New York, super small town. Basically, half of Cutco, half the town was employed by Cutco. I was just walking through the factory. The people were amazing. 1, they were just telling me how much they appreciated everything I was contributing to the company. And I was like, this is my 2nd summer in Cutco. I don't even know what I'm contributing. But the appreciation just really went both ways because I wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for the people who are making these knives. So really just fell in love with the people. But a lot of them were like, oh, my dad used to work here. Or, my grandpa worked here when I was young. And I had no idea it was such a huge family business. And they're just creating all this stuff by hand to make it amazing for people for the rest of their life. So here's me, with my group of people and the goggles in the factory. It was really cool. And us, those are the K-Bar, Marine Corps, knives. When they're, freaking out about that zombie apocalypse years ago. K-Bar made a line of knives for those. So, here's me up here, holding, those giant K-Bar knives with my first ever manager in Cutco. I'm so best friends with her. And then how our knives are actually made. And then I cut the penny and go to my demo. So, those are my goals.
Yeah, you were saying before you're going to share some tips or keys, so you guys start with it.
Yeah, well, if you're going to share your goals, you need to actually sit down and think about your goals. For me, sometimes it was rolling over at 3 a.m., having a notepad next to my bed and writing them down. They would come at random times, and just really sitting thinking about, what do I want? What do I want to gain from, this opportunity I have? And, you know, creating my new goals, it was definitely something that was difficult, but something I've always been passionate about is traveling. So that was just figuring out where I want to go. But find somebody that can, you know, that's more successful, that can help you sit down and go over your goals, or, you know, listen to somebody, go on field training with somebody who knows what they're doing. So for me, it was calling Mike Lanzetta. You know, all of you know who that is in this room. And he's amazing at sharing goals. His walk with God was something that I really, you know, appreciated and looked up to. So last summer for my 40K push, it was really not even about making money. You know, it was going back to school, being able to pay $5,000 to go back to school, but it was more about a walk with faith, you know, growing my relationship with God. So I got on the phone with Mike and, you know, got as much help as I possibly could. So let's, you know, what are you personally, what are your goals going to personally help you with? And then how are you helping contribute to others? So for me, it was like, you know, showing my dad that I'm capable of taking care of myself, or helping Kathy hit her goal for the summer, or just like tying them in with the support system we have. You know, I talk about my parents, you know, my dad was always like, if I'm home at 11 o'clock, he's like, Taylor, why are you out selling knives right now? And it was not like that at all. It did not used to be like that at all. They were like, get a new job. And it was like super frustrating. But just tying them into like what your support system is, having the pictures in your book. Like, do you think they would be as supportive of me if I was just like sitting with a blank page and they couldn't even see anything that I'm going after? Like, I've got pictures of me, like being 15 in the nation, being in the factory. Sorry, wait, I'm going the wrong way. I apologize, guys. Wherever these pictures are in my book.
Yeah. And for those who are newer and don't have that, it's about writing down the things you want to do. How do you want to utilize, you know, Vector Cutco to help you guys hit your goals? You know, what do you want to gain from it? Because obviously there's the experience. She's already done management internship, entrepreneurship internship, has learned so many skills. So she talks about the stuff she learned. And she's like, yeah, I like fell on my face. I learned this. And I'm like, you want to share that with customers? So they're like, wow, that's amazing. You know, that you're like, you're learning, you're growing. I mean, it's all part of the process. And being able to share that with customers, or it's what you're looking to gain, you know, from the company, what you're working towards. And so I asked also JD to share some stuff, because JD, someone who started last summer, didn't really do much, and came back this summer, right? And he's going to wrap up our meeting later today. But I asked him if he could share goal stuff as well, so you guys could see from somebody. She's been here 4 summers, has done all her undergrad, paid for, you know, like school, everything, partying, everything she's done with her Cutco, and about to graduate this year from Ole Miss. And then JD, who actually just graduated high school and is starting that journey. I think it's cool to see people in different places who are kicking ass. So give Tay a round of applause. Thanks, make sure you stay a little forward. We're streaming live. All right.
All right. So Taylor is probably one of the best people at sharing goals. I'm not gonna lie. She's been doing it a lot longer, of course. But when I share my goals, of course, first, do you want me to like actually share my goals? Just like
You can do both.
Okay, all right, I'll do both. So of course, I go into building rapport. I build a whole lot of rapport with my customers. I become best friends with them, because if the person likes you, then they're more likely to buy more. So spend a whole lot of time building rapport. The better you get to know the customer, they'll like you more, of course. But first, I go in. I'm starting. All right. So I heard about this job from my friend Cameron. He went to my church. I got a random text from him. He's like, "Hey, do you want to try out this job I'm doing?" I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "Oh, you get paid like $16 an appointment." I'm like, "So 16 an hour?" And he was like, "No, an appointment." I'm like, "That makes no sense." I heard 16 an hour, and I'm like, "Oh, this sounds kind of cool." I got a call from the receptionist, and she's like, "You want to work for Cutco or something like that?" I heard Petco. I don't know if you've ever heard like had that problem. Customers hear Petco on the phone. It's really weird. But yeah, I heard Petco. And I'm like, I don't want to go sell pets. What? And then she's like, no, it's Cutco. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I gave it a try. I went to the interview. I loved it. I love talking to people, meeting people. So I went with it. Last summer, I didn't do as much. I was lifeguarding as well. So I didn't get to devote my full time. This summer, I mentioned the scholarship on the phone, right? So this is what I'm going after. It's called the All-American Scholarship. It's the biggest one we have to offer. We're in the summer campaign, of course. My goal is to be top 5. Big goal, but I believe I can do it. I'm number 8 right now. Still got a little bit to go. Be consistent. And then just some of the reasons why I want to win the All-American Scholarship, why I'm working with the company. First of all, I want to make my family proud. This is them right here. There's my sister. She actually left the trip early, so I had to Photoshop her in. I don't know if you noticed. Her legs are cut off in the picture, so it's pretty obvious. But there's my mom, my dad, my little brother, and then my cousins. And I just want to make them really proud with this summer. My dad's actually in sales, so I'm in sales, he's in sales. I got to make him proud. And then, of course, I want to go to A&M. That's the ultimate goal. I've been an Aggie my whole life. I want to go to Mays Business School. But I'm going to start off first going to junior college coming up next year to save some money and make some money at the same time. But in terms of this summer, me working towards the scholarship, the money I make, I want to put towards travel. First of all, I want to go on a mission trip to South Africa. A friend of mine was talking about it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. So I want to go to South Africa. I don't know if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings. Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes no. And I'm like, oh, I'm a huge nerd of Lord of the Rings. They actually filmed it in New Zealand, and I really, really want to travel there. So that's the ultimate goal for me, go to New Zealand. And then I also really want to go to Ireland. So those are my 3 top places I want to travel. And then, the discipline I learned from this summer, I really want to transfer to other parts of my life. So I want to get in the gym, you know. I have a picture of my face photoshopped on a really swole guy. So they always laugh at that. And then people have sold to famous people with Cutco, and if I had to choose one person to sell to, it'd have to be Dwayne Johnson. He's just a really cool guy. And then this is just an example of the Vector opportunity. It's what I worked on last summer. It's the President's Club. It's basically a letter of recommendation from the CEO or the president. And then this summer, I mentioned the All-American Scholarship. I mapped it out, and this is what I really need to do. I need to sell at least 70,000. So just you sitting down is helping me. And I need to see 260 different people, which is awesome because I absolutely love to meet people. Then during SC1 and 2, having this thermometer really helps because you can get really excited about it and be like, oh, I really want to hit limo night. So that tying them into that during SC1 and 2. So definitely get a thermometer from your managers because when they see that and they see your progress, they're like, oh, I got to help this kid out, you know, because you built a bunch of rapport, you shared your goals, and now like you're telling them about a goal like they can help with right now that's coming up, and then they can hear about it. And then I go into my sponsorship. I say, oh, this is a free way to help. I'll tell you more about it at the end. I hope you like me well enough to introduce me to some of your friends. And I go into it. I mean, that's pretty much how I share my goals. I have not been in the company as long as Tay, of course, but even if you're just starting, you can set goals because in your manual, page 37, it has a list of the different kind of goals you can set for yourself, which is really great, which like make a collage. Like I encourage every single one of you guys to go and make some kind of corny collage, like Photoshop stuff in there like I did, and you know, make a thermometer that's super colorful, even if you're a guy. Like mine was kind of organized, it was green, but make it colorful. Show them you're working towards something. Because if you're really excited, they're just gonna like it and they're gonna find more. But that's what I got.
I forgot. I took it out of my book because it's not push anymore. But if you have an accountability partner or competition, like I put JD in my book. Yeah, JD put in my book. I'd be like, this guy's my competition. And as you know, I was an athlete. I don't like to lose. So he's gonna lose when it comes down to it. And I had one lady who's like, hell yeah, girl power. And her husband was like, I like this girl already.
And I was going to add that. Like, I think about specifics, and I wanted to ask you guys, even better for the push, when you guys make your push thermometers, so you guys have on here, and I don't, when you guys go through, there's thermometers still up here, and if you don't have one, this is from AT2 that some of you guys have, some of you guys don't. But this has a thermometer in here you can use. You can make your own. But this is a packet that we can pass around while you guys are going through this. But you want to have, I know some people got here early and worked on the thermometers, but who are you going to compete with? You know, after Andy's talk, I feel like you guys can have a better gauge of like, what do you really want to go after for the push? What do you feel that you can get done? Because what we need to look at is, you know, use a $400 average order, unless yours is higher. But I really want you guys to be fair to yourselves and just don't throw out a random number. I know there are people in this room who do have $700, $800 average orders. I would still map your push out with like 650. I personally wouldn't do my push numbers with more than 650, and then everything else is bonus. Unless you've had a $750 average order for a year or more, and that's what it says. Like Tay's is over 700, so we can use that from looking on Vector Connect. Same thing when I was going through with JD, and his was way higher during this push, but it was lower before. I'm like, I'd still map out probably with like 650. And if it's higher, then heck yeah, you do a lot more, but just respecting the numbers and making sure as you break down goals, which we're going to go through after, I think that's really huge. But if we can give JD a round of applause, who is somebody in your circle that you can have as an accountability? Who can you have a competition? You guys know anyone who was at SC1, Raj had a competition with one of our assistants, Zach. Zach lost. So he was running around in a tutu in the beginning, and I said, that's something that I would put in my book. And I would actually, whether it's them or you, I personally would put a picture of myself on it. Like if I'm trying not to be that, I'd be Raj. I'd put a picture of me and cut out a picture of ballerina, from a magazine and put my face on it and be like, this show, that just does not look good. I can't lose. If I lose, I have to wear a tutu at the actual event. So setting up different contests, between each other that are just fun payoffs that you can share that, like someone you're competing with. But I think it's really powerful when you have a picture of them in there that you can point to. It's visual. Human beings are visual. So when they can see it and they just laugh, they see the visual and they're like, oh my gosh, or they see that person, you're like, oh, I want to beat this person in my office, or I'm trying to earn blank spot, whatever it is. I know a big thing, and JD will share later for him, he's also sharing, and you didn't go into all that, but sharing with customers about Leadership Academy and getting into that. So that's something that he's incorporated now into his goals too, where he's like, I want to run my own office next summer, Like last night, he brought his mind, he's like, well, you got to ask questions about it, and I started laughing. And his mom's like, my God, he's like, Kathy's right here. Ask her about internship, And she was laughing. We were talking after. She's like, he really wants to run this office next summer. And I was like, her and I talked for a while about school. She's super excited about everything he's doing, but sharing that with customers. Like my goal is to stand out so I can earn one of 15 spots to run my own business next summer. And I was telling his mom, I said, by the way, that only used to be available to juniors and seniors in college, just so you guys know. So when I ran a branch, I was a sophomore. I was a junior going into my senior year when I had a chance to run mine. But it used to be only juniors and seniors over a decade ago. Then we started letting sophomores. And I remember in 2012, I had one of the first sophomores to do that in the Eastern region. And then I had a kid, Adriano, who between his freshman and sophomore year of college, he was the youngest ever, and he was in our program and going through Leadership Academy up at Boston College. And this was actually used. This is used in the curriculum at BC. So he actually had a class with Dr. Victoria Crittenson, who's on our board. She's now at Batson. And so Adriano was in class with her. And I remember him calling me, and he's like, she laughed at me, because he went and talked to Dr. Victoria Crittenson. He goes, I really want to run one of the offices this summer. And she just laughed. She goes, honey, that's for older students, like juniors and seniors. That's not for like a freshman in college, and he was just like, no, but I really think I could do a great job. And he's like, I really want to do this. And he worked really hard, and he was my first person ever to do that, right after his freshman year of college. And obviously many of you guys know Dan Hung broke through that this year, being somebody who just really, and I usually do not allow somebody who's going into their senior year of high school to be a part of this. But Dan was so impressive and did such an unbelievable job last year, and really just great poise, presented himself with class and style. And I was like, you know what, if someone didn't even know, we'd think you're a junior or senior, the way you carry yourself, the maturity that you have. And it was just crazy to me that this was a student who was between his junior and senior year of high school last summer with how he carried himself. And seeing the leadership Dan had through the fall, like, this is a kid we want doing this, And so he's the first ever that I've had right out of high school, graduated this spring, and running his own office this summer, which is freaking spectacular. And I was telling his mom last night, I'm like, that's crazy, like to say that you were 18 years old and you ran, you did an entrepreneurship internship with a $250 million company at 18 years old. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I said, so to be that young And I'm like, that's amazing that they're even thinking about that. You know, that JD's actually thinking about his future and saying, what can I do to set myself apart? What can I do to get this kind of experience? I was showing some of the parents, like, that's not what a normal 18-year-old is thinking about, you know? And so to set yourself apart, like, those are the people that set themselves apart later. Those are the future 30-year-old millionaires versus their buddies who are still 30 years old trying to play in college debt and land a stable job. And that's the difference, is that they made decisions early on and they had disciplines early on to say, I want to set myself up, you know? I know that was a decision that being surrounded by people in this business, I was like, damn, there's so much opportunity here to like grow personally, you know, grow professionally and grow financially. Like, I want to take advantage of this. And I just remember sitting down with my manager and I was like, okay, you know, like, and I wish I would have started and I would have known about this in high school. I heard about it in high school. I thought it was really weird. I didn't do it. I just made fun of my friends who sold knives when I was like a sophomore in high school. And then I didn't hear about it again until I was a junior in college. And I remember seeing it and I was like, damn, this is actually pretty amazing. You know, like what I could learn and what I could gain from this business. And now I'm like, God, I wish I would have done it earlier. So for those of you in the room that are younger, like, you don't even understand how amazing it is for you to be sitting here right now and to be exposed to this early on, because this benefits you long term. You guys will hear from different people and you'll meet people. And I work with Fortune 500 companies and I'm around many self-made millionaires. And it's just so cool. You know, when I talk to parents, I'm like, I was earning $250,000, over $250,000 a year. I said, when I was 25 years old. I'm like, that's nuts. I was like, since 2007. I was earning a 6-figure income since I was 21 years old, you know, right out of college. And some of my friends were trying to land jobs. And I was earning a 6-figure income year 2 out of college. I'm like, that's pretty sweet, you know, to have an opportunity like that. And we see that. And for some people, you know, they love to do it in the sales capacity out in the field, you know, like working, making calls, doing demos, working shows, and they love doing that in the field. I love coaching. I love teaching. And so for me, the management route, and Andy, you guys are going to hear from here in a little bit. In a couple minutes, he'll be on with us in about 15 minutes. But Andy is somebody that we both ran branches. His branch, it was after his undergrad. That's when he got a chance to branch. So he finished his bachelor's, he finished at FIU, and before he went, you know, once he had graduated, then he ran a branch office. We ran it the same summer of 2003. And after that, like, he took that and he's like, all right, I want to start this company. I want to do this. And he took that knowledge, started working in like mortgages and real estate. I don't remember what the heck he was doing, but in that industry, this was back in like 2004 when we had graduated, and he started doing that. He left Cutco for a bit and sold Cutco on the side to past customers, but he wasn't actively with Cutco. He just took the experience elsewhere. And then everyone would tell him, why did you leave that company? And he's like, I don't know, you know, and he came back and became, I mean, he's one of the most prolific reps in our company, period, like unreal. And you guys are going to hear from him soon. But a lot of it, you know, it just, when we talk about it all the time, like, man, there's just so much to gain here. Are you sharing that with your customers, or are you just going in like, yeah, I'm going to go sell them some knives, show them these knives? You know, like, the knives are like the least of it, by the way. And our knives are kick ass. But that is the vehicle to teach you guys the skills you learn here. So do you talk to your customers about that? Because when I share goals, I'm like, this, Jones, honestly, I bumped into this randomly. And I share with them, like, I heard about this. I found a business card. Those who don't know, I found a business card at the floor, on the floor, a dirty business card at school in the parking lot. I was going to my car. There was a business card that said student work. And I was like, I'm a student, I need work. And I picked up this dirty business card and went online and went in for an interview. When I went in, I had no idea. One of my buddies, Bo, he was an assistant manager there. Then he told me Kelly worked there, Grimshaw worked there, Sheets worked there, Peter, Matt Netherlander. Some of them had won scholarships. One of them had earned college credits. One was currently earning college credits. And I had no idea, like, what the heck is this place? You know, what is this? And little did I know, that little dirty business card would have had an influential impact forever, not just on myself, on my family, but on people in all different industries, you know, for decades to come. And it's unreal to see students that work with me 14 years ago who were in my office in 2003, people who were in my office in 2004, my district offices through the years. It's so wild to see, you know, to look now, because I still feel like I'm like 22, even though I'm not. But to see them, you know, in their late 20s, early 30s, married, businesses, families, and they just rave about what they learned here and what they gained here. And that's what I would share with customers. And when I would sit with customers, I was like, Miss Jones, I randomly found out about this like this. I had no idea all the things they had available. I had no idea it was a national college student program. My buddy recommended me, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And I had no idea how much this job would be able to impact or influence me forever, and how many opportunities were here. You know, and are you sharing with your customers the things you're excited about? And so I had the branch program in my book. I had the scholarship in my book. I had the different goals, you know, of what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to London. I had pictures of London. I had stuff in my book about that because I wanted to pay for my study abroad program. But while I was in London, I wanted to go to Greece. I wanted to go to Spain. I wanted to go to France. I wanted to go to all these different places. So I had pictures of all the places I want to go to. And I said, you know, I didn't like my parents. I've never been able to do something like that. You know, my parents actually couldn't pay for our college. We could only go to college if we paid for it. And I've been, you know, it's been a blessing to be able to surround myself. I've been surrounded with incredible people who have coached me, who have mentored me. And I've been able to do great in athletics and earn an athletic scholarship. I've been able to do great with my academics and be able to get an academic scholarship, and the rest of it be able to pay off with my Cutco money is what I was able to do. But I tell Miss Jones, I'm like, yeah, so I'm just stoked to have an opportunity where there's amazing people who like want to grow and just want to be a better version of themselves. They're trying to be better, do more, put themselves in better positions. And I've never been around that. And I would share that with Miss Jones. I mean, Miss Jones, I worked at Macy's. I worked in restaurants, and like the people I was with, most of the time were always complaining about stuff, you know, complaining about stuff in their life all the time. Who here has worked another job? People are just complaining all the freaking time. And Miss Jones like, oh, I know, honey. And I'm like, and that's what I was around. And I just remember, I'm like, I've never been in a place where people are like positive and people are like wanting to be better and people are working hard together and people are wanting me to succeed. In my other jobs, I almost felt like they felt me as a threat, you know, and they didn't want me to succeed because they didn't want me to take their job. They didn't want me to push them out. And so some people were nasty. Some people had nasty attitudes. Some people were just like, it just wasn't a fun environment. Different jobs I had. And I know some of you haven't had different jobs. You're in a little bubble here, by the way. You're not going to find an environment like this where you're poured into, where you're like loved, encouraged, supported. It's amazing, you know, and it was the family feel. I talked to some of the parents last night. I was in the big kids table inside with the parents, many of the parents that were there. And we were just chatting. And I said, you know, for me, I'm like the family. They're like, this is so nice that you guys do this and have this barbecue and you're all together. And I said, you know, the thing that I loved most in this company from when I first came into it was just the family feel and people that were working together to do big things. And I love that. And it really resonated with me. And again, when I share with customers, like share with them, be real, open up. What do you love about this company? What do you want to gain from this company? What opportunities do you want to have? And then it all goes back to Miss Jones. I just want to stand out. I want to be on stage. We have this competition. I want to make a name for myself. I want to be able to get a Leadership Academy interview. I want to be able to get into the events team. I want to be able to advance. Whatever you're excited about, you tie back to that. So it's like, what are all the things you're excited to gain? All right, and how are you going to get it? Well, I'll tell you right now, you need to stand out. This was just a chance for you guys to make a name for yourself and stand out above the rest, you know, or stand out individually. Because, you know, for me, I'm looking at everyone individually. Like, what did you make a commitment? Did you follow through with your commitment? Are you someone that I feel comfortable in trusting $6 to $8 grand being given to? You're going to handle money practically. You're going to drive the organization. You're going to impact and influence people. That when crap gets hard, you're not just going to give up. You're going to keep going. You're going to keep pushing. You know, what are you going to do? And so those are all things that we're going to look at, you know, as we're going through this push. I'm going to be talking to your managers. I want to know how you're dealing with adversity. You know, are you throwing in the towel? Are you making excuses? Are you trying to find results? Are you trying to find solutions? Are you reaching out to people saying, hey, I want to be great. I'm having trouble with this. I'm having trouble with that. Can you help me out? You know, are you someone who's hungry to learn, who's hungry to improve? Because I'll tell you right now, if you are, your managers are going to go above and beyond to help you succeed. Your teammates are going to go above and beyond to help you succeed. You know, we have our group meet. Ask for help, ask questions. If you need something, you know, reach out so people can reach out to you, give you help, give you keys, all right? Our Alliance group meet, I want hot news, I want pause news, and I want if you have questions or you need help with something. I don't want, this is not a forum for you guys to bitch and complain, cool? It's a place for you guys to share success, to share the wins, to share positive activity. Like, hey, just made 20 calls, book 2 more demos, let's roll. You know, like, and just keep the activity going, keep the energy high. Is what that's for. And then if you, hey, can anyone give me tips on this or where I could find this? And other people can go to help for you, whether it's Mike Lanzetta or Jonathan Schmitz or James or any of the FSMs or Cheyenne or Francisco or whoever it is, Tay, they can reach out and give you guys feedback. Cool? So we're going to take, cool, perfect. We're going to take 5 7 tickets to grab water. Use the bathroom, by the way. Ignite is on me today. If you want an Ignite, we can put it back there. You need to take 2 cups and go to mix it and then go at it. All right. So put that back there. But let's take 5.